Good evening, everybody. How are we doing this evening? Before we get started, I just want to say, missed seeing all of you in Fletcher. Here in Western North Carolina, it did rain. It did rain quite a bit, and it would have been a bit of a parking area nightmare with probably stuck cars and everything like that. So definitely was the right call to make, even though it was a tough one to make. Let's take a look at kind of where we're at right now. So we added actually two more female coaches. So we have a total of 522 licensed coaches in the league, and our number of riders has stayed consistent, but we added another 257.49 hours. And I just want to give a shout out to whoever heard my plea to get rid of the 0.01 that I kept having to write. Thank you so much for recording 0.49 hours so that we get a nice round 3,708.5 TTC hours for the season. So thank you very much for taking pity on my sanity. We have some important dates that are coming up. So May 18th and 19th is going to be the season showdown, that state championship race event in Mayodan. Then on May 19th, the NICA end of season survey is going to open up. On June 1st and 2nd, the Whitewater Windup season finale event will happen at the Whitewater Center. June 15th, the NICA end of season survey will close. And on June 16th, that's the final day of the 2024 season. And then June 30th is the final day to submit any handbook revision suggestions. So rules that you feel need to be added to, or new rules that need to be added, or rules that currently exist that maybe you don't feel should be there. So this is your link to the form to submit those, and then the rules committee takes a look at it, and then they will forward the ones that they kind of work through and collate and that sort of thing. They will forward that on to NICA for their final approval. The process really is that we make suggestions. NICA then can say yay or nay on the suggestions. They can say whether or not it goes into our league specific handbook. It's not just we decide and that becomes a rule. So NICA does have ultimate say. All right. Not to dwell on Fletcher, the race that could have been, but to look forward to the race that will be. And that is the season showdown at Mayodan. And the event flyer, the current draft of it is linked there. And I want to kind of bring that up. But first, I want to talk a little bit just about some of the decisions that have been made in light of the cancellation of Fletcher. So the season showdown does remain a single day state championship. It does not become a series race. The series is going to be the best 3 of 4 races from the 4 races that have been completed. All of those series results are live on our website, including team and individual. So you can go and look and see what those results are currently for all of your student athletes. And then the awards guidance has been updated in light of the cancellation for the race. So you can see that as well. So when we look at this event flyer, there's a couple of things I want you to take note of. Number one, we are not releasing a course preview video. Number two, we are not releasing a course preview map or GPX for any sort of data. So you are going to be going into this essentially blind. You will not know what the course is. So Saturday, what we have done is, because we don't have any other activities going on besides state championships, we have opened up to a much larger time frame for our red flag, yellow flag, green flag course inspections. So when you look, course inspection will begin at 12:30 for red flag, and it will run until 2 o'clock. And then from 2 to 3:30, we will have green flag. And then 3:30 to 4:30, excuse me, I'm kind of off a little bit. 12:30 to 2 is our red flag, 2 to 3 is our yellow flag, and 3:30 is when the green flag will start. And that will continue on until the course closes at 6. So there will be 2.5 hours of green flag time for your student athletes to get familiar with the course. So I'll pause here to see if there's any questions or anything like that about this schedule. So all of the series results that you see live online right now, whoever's in first place is the series winner. All right. Other questions or feedback on the Saturday schedule?
Sean, did you just say that the current results page has the current series winner overall already listed?
Yes, correct. So whoever's in first place under the series results, that is your overall series winner.
When I looked last, subtracting their lowest one.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I just caught the last part of it.
When I'm gonna look again, but when I looked last time, and I looked at the overall series results, it was not just taking off their lowest score.
When was the last time you looked? Because this has been worked on today.
Yesterday.
Okay, so all of this has been finalized today. So Jim
Okay,
Otto
I'll
and
go and check.
some of the other results people, they went through and worked today to make everything ready for this to be the series final.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. One thing I want your feedback on is if you look at Saturday's schedule, we really don't have a coach's ride. It's just because most of you are very familiar with Mayodan. There's only so much different that we can do. We felt like to get a little bit more time in the day, we could eliminate the coach's inspection ride and then allow that earlier kind of red flag time to go. So what sort of feedback will you have?
Looks good to me.
All right. Any other, like, you feel really like strong that we should have a coach's inspection ride? All right. So I see a question about what about ties? So ties are ties. So if two people are tied for first place, they're both first place. So there is no tiebreaker in the series. Varsity recognition still going to happen? Are you meaning the senior night? The senior night will still happen. So if you look here on our schedule at 6:30 p.m., we have senior night beginning on Saturday.
Sean, let me break in on that point. So yes, we are doing senior night at Mayodan, but registration is required. That registration did not transfer from Fletcher to Mayodan. We were unsure if everyone would still be able to make it. So if you have a senior, make sure you register for them for senior night for Mayodan.
All right. I see a few others like feeling comfortable and confident with there being no coach's ride on Saturday because of familiarity with Mayodan. So if you feel otherwise and you don't feel comfortable here, just reach out to me and we can discuss this further. But we felt that Mayodan was a venue that we've been to so much. It doesn't represent a lot of technical challenges to it. So that would be the thing for us to eliminate to get a little more time in the day. Yes. So that is the way ties work. So if two people are tied for first place, there is no second place. It's two people tied for first place, and then it's a third, fourth, and fifth. There will be a town hall meeting next week. Yes. You guys are hitting me with a lot of questions in chat. All right. We will get back to our regularly scheduled agenda.
If there's a tie, Sean, will the tying students both receive a placement medal?
We're working on that. So currently we don't have enough medals, and Brian is reaching out to the company to try and get a fast turnaround time on the medals. We weren't anticipating the series ending so abruptly. So
Yeah. Thank you.
no problem. All right. So links to all of these things that we're talking about are all here. And I do want you to revisit the awards guidance that has been updated. And that tells things like call-ups for the season finale championship or state championship. All of those things are all in that document. So that will help answer all of your questions. All right. The next thing that I want to point you towards is the Whitewater Windup, the season finale event. And so I want you to start looking at this so that you can start making a plan as to what you're going to be doing with your student athletes. Like, do you come for both days? Do you come for just one day? Which day is that? All that sort of thing. So this is the schedule of events for Saturday and Sunday. And we are trying to wrap things up a little bit early on Sunday so that everyone can have plenty of time to drive home. So are there any questions about the schedule for this Whitewater Windup season finale?
I have a question real quick.
All right. So I got a couple people. So Jim.
Yeah, so what needs to be coach led each day?
Let's see. Shell, do you want to speak about orienteering and scavenger hunt? I believe those are going to be coach led. Is that correct?
Yes, any trail riding will be coach led, but teams can technically combine together as long as you have the emergency contact information for any student athletes in your group and you're within ratio. So if you have folks from multiple teams, and you want to form a team for orienteering or scavenger hunt, that is made up of multiple teams, you can do that.
And do they still need to have a level 2, level 3 coach, or as long as, so basically you always have to have a ride leader regardless.
Yep, if they're riding on trail, they need to be within ratios and like a guidance for leading a ride.
And is orienteering riding, or is that something different?
Yep, that'll be riding.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The one event that just needs a coach to lead them over to it, and then they will be riding without it being coach led, is the biathlon. All right, let's see. I think I might have missed a couple of questions. Let me take a look. All right. Matthew Bush, you have raised your hand. Yes, sir.
What's the other sport for the biathlon?
Well, what is a biathlon?
It's two things.
Yes. But it's two very specific things. So mountain bike is one.
So it's target shooting?
Yes, it is.
All right.
So I'm very excited about this. This is what I'm putting together. So it is biathlon style. It does involve Nerf pellet guns because they shoot a biodegradable little pellet that is very innocuous. It's filled with water. and I'm building the targets biathlon style now. So it'll be an event where students race a lap of a course. They have to shoot 3 targets with no more than 5 rounds. Any target that they miss, they then have to do a penalty lap, and then they go back out and do another lap, and it's standing, kneeling, and then prone. So yeah. So think Winter Olympics biathlon.
That
Only
sounds
on
really
mountain
fun.
bikes. Yes. It should be a lot of fun. Yes, camping is available, and there's a link to camping on this flyer. And a reminder that there is a entry fee for getting into the Whitewater Center. But if you are camping, then you let them know that you are with the NICA event, and they have a rate that'll cover you for the entire weekend. All right. Any other questions about Whitewater Windup?
Could you give a little bit of description about on the orienteering and the scavenger hunt, what to expect with those?
I will turn that over to Shell.
So orienteering, there will be orienteering flags and stamps at different points along the trail. That you'll have a map that tells you where those points are. It's up to your ride group how you decide to get there and how many points you want to find. There will be different levels that you can shoot for. So you'll have a different level appropriate for every experience level rider you've got. And then for scavenger hunt, we'll be on completely different trails than are being used for orienteering the day before. Basically, you're going to go out on the trail and find stuff. I don't want to tell you a lot more than that because I know Bill Berry has some really fun ideas planned and I don't want to ruin the fun. But it will be finding different points on trails you did not ride the day before.
Is trail riding available on Sunday? As far as just riding in general? So that would be something not under the auspices of our event. And so yes, it's open facility. But you can see our schedule and what we have scheduled for everything for our event.
Is the award ceremony on Sunday, is that for the overall season? And which podium levels or awards would be given out at that time?
So the race event awards will be done at Mayodan after the state championships. So we'll be awarding the state championships and the series champions awards at Mayodan. And then the Whitewater Windup will be TTC and those other team awards.
Thank you. And then is there RV parking at Whitewater?
Ooh, that is a question above my pay grade. I believe we do have an area for how big of an RV are we talking? Are we talking like Motley Crue tour bus or
No, the normal, 20, 25 footer stuff that's usually been coming.
Okay. Brian or is Mike Lashley?
There are RV camping spots available at Whitewater Center, and the link is on the flyer. As far as parking, if you're camping somewhere else, they have an oversized parking fee. And I would assume that would apply to anything bigger than a regular car. But as far as parking, if you have questions, if you're not camping, I would call the center and confirm with them.
Is the camping flyer open? Last time I checked the link, it wasn't there.
Yes, it's live now.
The link is live in the flyer that Sean is displaying, and the link on the website is live for camping at the Whitewater Center.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions about Whitewater Windup?
I'm assuming that the camping on site in Charlotte will be primitive camping. Is that correct?
It's a gravel parking area that has some grass popping up through it, and there is a about half a mile walk to bathroom facility, and I believe there are showers as well. And those will be open 24 hours, so we will have access to them.
And it is described in the camping information document that is linked in the flyer as well as linked to the website.
All right. Other questions? Excellent. So now I'll open the floor up to all of you. If there's any other questions or feedback that you would like to share, now would be a great time for that. This is pretty amazing. This is going to be the fastest and easiest coaches call ever.
The YouTube algorithm will love it.
Nobody's giving me a hard question or anything. All right. So Abby says the Western North Carolina contingent is excited to help with a 2025 venue for a Western North Carolina race. We're all ears. Definitely. So Fletcher was a less than ideal, but we were going to make it work. So if we can find something better, we would love to.
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
So, and Abby would know a lot more about this than I do. I mean, I sent Tim Hopkins a email about Jackson Park. I mean, since you guys built a course or had a course built from scratch, you know, he runs a UCI cyclocross race every year in Jackson Park in Hendersonville, which has a gigantic field. It has tons of parking. Well, it has limited single track. So, with the idea that, you know, there would be a lot of work to build a loop there, the hard part seems to be the parking and the field. Have you guys ever talked with them about doing something in Hendersonville?
We have not, but one thing I want to clarify is that we didn't build this trail. This trail was being privately built by the landowner, and it was the trail builder who encouraged him to actually get us to race it as a way of like betting in his trail, essentially. So that was that's building trail is an expensive endeavor, so that would be a big hurdle if that's what's required for Hendersonville, because I know I've raced there before for cyclocross, and I know there's little bits of single track, but I haven't ridden very extensively there on the single track.
Yeah, there's not a good loop yet, but and my recollection is it might be possible with manpower, but there's couple hundred kids in Asheville, Hendersonville area. So anyway, Abby, you should.
If anyone has a good connection, like a personal connection, that it's always a good start. Just like Sean said, that's how Fletcher happened for us. It's just personal relationships. So if someone's got a good connection there at Jackson Park, I love having conversations like that. You know, what's in the realm.
So Tim is, you know, he puts on cyclocross races. He, you know, does national championships for USA Cycling. So he would be a good contact to reach out to. And I can forward along his info. I had asked him about Jackson Park from the standpoint of how much soccer and baseball goes on in the summer or in the spring, if it would even be possible. So
he's a coach on the Hellbender, so we have his info as well.
Great. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I was looking for. He knows what we do.
This is Austin. I'm on Abby's phone. I have you on speaker, but yeah, just in talking with the Hendersonville and Brevard folks and ICI and Franklin, and Pisgah Ridge, Asheville High, there's a lot of interest in utilizing some of the venues, and so we're I think that contingent, if you will, we'll look forward to working with Brian and Sean over the next couple months to see if we can identify something that would be awesome.
And I see, Cameron, you have put a link to something in Polk County. So interestingly enough, we do have a interest from a team wanting to form in Polk County. So that is definitely a good link to hold on to. And I'm sure we can talk to them about that as well.
Our good friend Ed Sutton from Trail Dynamics, who led us through the Fletcher opportunity, should be breaking ground in Polk County this fall, is what he told me this week.
So now that we have an in with an actual professional trail builder, we might have a little bit more opportunities coming our way. I think that we may all be in shock that this great season is just about over. Yeah, it's amazing how fast approaching the final event at the Whitewater Center is coming up. So yeah, definitely it's going to be over before we know it. So glad you've enjoyed it.
Have you created and provided the registration links for the early fall WFA training classes?
Not yet. So I'm waiting to hear back from Solo Southeast for the link to the hybrid class, but I'm fixing all of that so it can go live as soon as possible. I'm waiting to hear back from them. If I don't hear back from them, I'll just add that in some future email that goes out to everybody. So I don't want to wait beyond anything. I actually want to move that out before we have the Mayodan event. So sometime this weekend, I'd like to go live with that.
Think cost could be the same?
The cost will be the same, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Speaking of that, we all got our WFA cards, but I don't think I ever received a CPR AED certificate.
You did, but it comes from a really weird email address and it doesn't say anything like related to CPR AED. So you have it. You need to look, it's like CSI or something like that. Like you look for the email sender and I can shoot you an email. Shoot me an email just to remind me, and I'll shoot you who to search for in your email address, in your email inbox, and it'll be there. You got it.
Okay.
You got a digital copy of it. So yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, along those lines, will it be a similar setup as it was last year where you're doing a hybrid approach and you kind of get everything done in the weekend and there'll be several throughout the state? Is it going to be the same kind of setup?
Yes. Awesome. And so they will begin August, and it's Asheville, Charlotte, RDU, Asheville again, Fayetteville. There's like several different places. So we've got one Charlotte, one Fayetteville, 2 RDU, 2 Asheville. So those are the locations for them.
Awesome. Yeah, we have some interested coaches, so it'll be great. Thanks.
That's fantastic. So yeah, it'll be the same setup. So the hybrid, and just tell all your coaches, don't wait until Thursday night to start doing your homework because it's a lot. Definitely have that done. And HSI platform. That's it. Thank you, Virginia. So yeah, HSI platform is who the CPR comes from. But yeah, it'll be the hybrid. So you'll do all the classroom kind of learning portion online. And then Saturday you'll show up, you'll do all the practical stuff. You'll do the CPR AED. And then Saturday or Sunday, you'll do the OTBS 101 in the morning from 9 to 12:30. And then you're done. So all the biggest hurdles for level 2 certification done and dusted in a weekend.
Awesome. 1.5 speed on the videos.
Yes. Yes. I actually could handle it at 2x. I was able to still okay, I got this. But yeah, 1.5 speed definitely helps. All right. Any other comments, questions, feedback? All right. Brian and I are set to record the podcast this weekend, and then we will have the town hall next week, and then we will have our final coaches call in around the end of June, or actually shortly after Whitewater Windup. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, we're looking for a new RDU location for our courses because while that park is pretty cool, the zip line, if any of you have ever done the course at RDU, that zip line with kids back and forth is distracting to say the least, and to hear it constantly for 8 hours is pretty nerve-wracking. So definitely we're looking for something slightly better. And then if you are in Charlotte, definitely if you have a place that could host indoors on Saturday and outdoor area on Sunday, please let me know, because Charlotte is the last place that I'm looking for. Yeah, the pavilions at Lake Crabtree, we've done that before. We really are trying to find an indoor classroom space for Saturday, simply because of weather and things like that. It just makes it much more viable that we have an indoor space for the WFA course. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. It's been a great season, and we have 2 fantastic events left, and I can't wait to see all of you at Mayodan for the state championships. Thank you very much.